Allow me to take you back to one of my favorite periods in hair history. Back in the 1770s, people really knew how to wear a hairstyle that makes an impact. This is the time of Marie Antoinette, who was famous, or infamous if you will, for her extravagant looks. She popularized the pouf, the iconic powdered hairstyle of the late 18th century, which was piled high on ladies' heads and richly adorned with all manners of decorations. Much like we do today, women in this period expressed themselves through their clothing and their hairstyles. We nowadays might wear a t-shirt with a printed text or a symbol that says something about who we are and how we feel, but back then these expressions were a bit more subtle. It wasn't very desirable for women to have such outspoken opinions, so they went about it in a bit more of a subtle way. Women could express social ties, political opinions, personal interests, or whatever it was that they wanted to express through their hairstyles. I am sure many of you are familiar with Marie Antoinette's coiffure à la belle poule, in which she wears a ship on top of her pouf. This hairstyle was worn in celebration of a French naval victory, but other popular motifs were scenes from the opera, zodiac or nature themes, or allegories of recent events. Which brings me to the topic of this video, the pouf à l'inoculation. In April of 1774, there was an outbreak of smallpox at Versailles, which eventually ended up killing King Louis XV. His son, Louis XVI, then decided to submit himself to a medical procedure that was common in Northern Europe, but at this time still very controversial in France. He got the smallpox vaccine. Well, technically it was an inoculation, as the first actual smallpox vaccine wasn't discovered until a couple of decades later, but the principle is much the same. A tiny little bit of the disease was injected under the patient's skin in order to create an immune reaction. Luckily, the procedure was successful. It was performed not only on the king, but also on his younger brothers, which meant that pretty much the entire line of succession had been vaccinated, so obviously people were very happy that this was successful, and the event had to be celebrated with a complimentary hairstyle. Enter the pouf à l'inoculation, the vaccination hairstyle. It was decorated with the rod of Asclepius, which represented medicine, a club representing conquest, a rising sun for the Sun King, of course, Louis XVI, and a flowering olive branch which represented peace and joy. Unfortunately, we have no contemporary visual evidence of this hairstyle. There are no images of it, no paintings, so we can only imagine how fabulous this must have looked. But there is this one image which is a rendition of this hairstyle, which was made much later, but it is a very nice picture, I think, so I did want to share this with you. So here we are, in 2021, at the beginning of a vaccination campaign that will hopefully guide us out of the 2020 pandemic, and I thought this would be the perfect time to bring back the pouf à l'inoculation, 2020 style. I didn't use the historical methods to build up my pouf this time, and I hope you will forgive me for that, because the last time I did that, used the proper methods, the pomade and the powder and the frizzing and the heated curls, it took quite a toll on my hair. There are videos of the correct methods on my channel if you're interested, but for now I am happy with whatever gets the job done, and in this case that is hair mousse and rice flour. I am using a cushion in the center of my hairstyle, which is historically accurate in fact, and that's going to help me build up a little bit of height and a little bit of volume. I decided to decorate my pouf à l'inoculation with a few items that have come to symbolize the pandemic, in my eyes in any case. First of all, toilet paper and pasta. I know toilet paper was a huge one around the world, but here in the Netherlands, for some reason, the first thing that sold out was pasta, and it was pretty consistently sold out throughout every new lockdown, so I definitely wanted to include that in the hairstyle as well. I am using the toilet paper almost as a ribbon, and the pasta necklace. Yes, I made a pasta necklace. I must say, guys, this was really fun to do. It's been a while since I last made a pasta necklace. But I used that as if it was a string of pearls and just draped it across the front of the hairstyle. I tried to attach a key as well to symbolize the lockdowns and the ending of the lockdowns, hopefully, but the key was a little bit too heavy and it sunk away in the hairstyle, so I did decide to leave that out. And lastly, I added a syringe, of course, to represent the actual vaccination. Played around with the placement a little bit. First, I stuck it into the top of the hairstyle, which I thought would be more 18th century-like, but you can really see it, so I decided to utilize the contrast of my dark hair and place it in the center front as well. And there you have it, the 2021 version of the Pouf à l'intégration. Stay safe, everybody.